Okay, if everybody could unmute very quickly. I want to find out who is with us today.
Good morning.
About you guys. Good morning. Oh my gosh. Hi, Hyatt.
Hi.
Hi, Gregory. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm driving the road still, so don't think I'm ignoring you.
Okay. Okay, if you're driving, please don't look at the screen. Just listen in and talk if you want to. Good morning, John. Hi, Nicholas.
Good morning.
Oh, there's Robbie. Good morning, Nicholas. Moy, Candy, Thelma, Deepak.
Good morning, Vet.
Hi, Deepak.
Hi, Vet. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. Good to see you here. And we've got Brian with me. Brian is co-hosting it a little bit with me. He's helping me
Awesome.
run all the slides and everything because I tend to be so challenged a little bit sometimes. So anyways, I'm very grateful for Brian helping me out here.
Anytime.
Fantastic. Okay, fantastic. Okay, guys, we're going to get rolling. So Brian, can you hear this with my finger?
I heard everything.
So when I do this, can you just go to the next slide?
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Slide? It'll be easier for me to.
Gotcha.
And if I say back, then you'll know. Oops, we went too far. Okay. Okay, everybody. Let's see here. I think I'm all set up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today we are going to be dealing with, let's go to the, oh, I'm sorry, I can't see it. Now I'm not able to see. I'm just gonna let this drop, Brian. This is not helping me one bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to be dealing with seller and listing presentations and getting listings. I'm assuming that everybody's on here because they really want listings. So I'm going to ask you to unmute and I'll need you to answer a question very quickly. So is there a, let's see here. Sorry, there's somebody at our door. We're trying to get rid of them. Okay, got rid of them. So how many of you have actually had a listing, at least one listing? If you could unmute, I'm not going to check in the chat box right now. So if you could unmute, that'd be really helpful to me.
I have my first
you've
one
had a
coming
list-
next month.
Oh, you've got a listing coming up, Nicholas? Is this your first listing?
Yes.
Congratulations, that's exciting news. And how long have you been in business?
I just signed on with Keller Williams April 1st.
Wow, fantastic. When did you get your license?
I passed my test on St. Patrick's Day in March.
Whoa, congratulations, that's awesome. You're on it already. Okay, so if nobody else is going to speak, I'm assuming that nobody else has listings or has had a listing and you would like listings. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. So let's take a look at the next page, Brian, if you don't mind, please. Okay, fantastico. Okay, so this is really revealing here how sellers found their agents. Primarily through their friends. Sorry, I've got my alarms going off here. Friends, neighbors, and relatives. So referrals. So the next one is they've used the agent previously. Maybe they used them for a buy, and now they're returning to them and saying, hey, will you sell my property? If you've kept in contact, this is fantastic. Personal contact by an agent. So remember, if you pick up the phone and you start calling people, this is also a good way to get clients, right? You need to reach out to people. Then the rest are incidental. There's internet, website, and visited open houses or met an agent. So what sellers do want? Let's take a look at this. It's one thing to understand where you get your sellers from. It's another thing to know what they want and be able to deliver on that, right? So besides being professional and friendly, likable, sellers have specific objectives that they want to make sure that you can help them achieve. So 21% of them want help marketing their home. 20% of them want to make sure it sells in a certain time frame. 19% want help pricing competitively. And 16% want advice on improvements to improve their sales price. 13% want help finding a buyer. And only 11% stated that they wanted help with the paperwork and inspections negotiations. But so that doesn't mean that they don't need help with that. It just means that they don't realize they need help with that. So let's go on to the next page and kind of take a look at what the process to listing is. So there's a pre-listing questionnaire, which you're gonna have in your booklets and that you can be able to get to access. And then you're gonna schedule the listing appointment next. Then you're gonna send them a pre-listing packet if that's something that works for you. And I'm gonna explain why, because I don't always do that. And then create a listing presentation. And then you're gonna do a home walkthrough and the listing appointment. You're gonna actually deliver on it. So I want you to hang in there with me, because at the very end, I'm actually going to show you my listing presentation, what we use on my team, so that you guys have a good idea. I mean, this is really great that you have all these, wonderful slides and all of that, but I want you to see how we deliver on it, because I think that'd be most helpful to you, is the practical side of things. Okay. So before the listing appointment, you remember that you've got to do more listening than talking. And that is sometimes difficult for some of us in this business. So please, please, please remember, if you're listening and asking questions, they're talking. And that means you're keeping them engaged. You cannot possibly deliver on a seller's needs unless you understand what they are. And you're only going to know what they are if you're asking questions and reaching out to them. So before, in some of these classes, you guys, you probably heard about the A sellers, the B sellers, and the C sellers. So can anybody tell me what a C seller is? First person to kind of, can anybody break that down for me? What a C seller is?
I think they're the ones who want to sell, but they don't have a timeline within which they want to sell.
That's really close to it. I think that's right, because if somebody's 61 days out, right? So that's a really good answer, Deepak. So a seller, so think about this, right? The C seller is the one that's 61 days and out. The B seller is someone that's 15 to 60 days, a little bit past 2 weeks. So what do you think an A seller is then?
Right now.
Yeah, right now. They want to sell in the next couple of weeks. They're ready to go. So those are the ones that we're obviously looking for, but you want to have, people that are ready to go a month from now, 2 and 2 months from now, and 3 months from now. Now, like I mentioned to you guys, those are coming on late. I just mentioned that I'm going to be showing you my listing presentation at the end and doing a quick walkthrough so you understand what it should look like. I want to give you the practical on it. Okay, so let's take a look at the pre-listing goals. So once you've pre-qualified the seller and you've scheduled the listing appointment, you will send them a pre-listing packet. You will find the pre-listing packets in your Ignite toolkit. So please look through the toolkit. If you don't know where to find them, reach out to your team leader or your productivity coach. Okay.
It's also in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Thank you, Brian. You rock. Or did you put it in there, or did Abigail did? Abigail rocks. You do too, Brian, but Abigail has got me on this one. So let's go over to the next slide, Brian. So in the pre-listing packet, by the way, you are going to state your value. You guys have talked about your value in the first couple of classes. you're going to state the value you're going to be providing as a listing agent. Remember that sellers have specific goals they want to achieve. And the first step is discovering their goals and telling them how you are going to help them achieve their goal. That's what they want to know. How are you going to do it? So the pre-selling is important. This pre-listing packet is important. It builds the seller's confidence and it answers questions in advance of the presentations. So the sellers want to use an agent because they want advice and they want expertise. So making them feel like they better understand the process is so important. Remember, some of them may have sold before, some of them have never done it. So you're the expert. Don't worry too much about being perfect. I remember my first listing appointment that I went on, and I brought my mentor with me. It was my second month in the business, and I brought my mentor. I didn't feel like I was practiced enough on the scripting. And so she was really great. She came along with me. And one of the things that you've got to remember is prior to that appointment, if you're going with somebody else, make sure that you address with them that they should say we and us, very inclusive. So it's not about them running the listing appointment, but it's you and them running the listing appointment. So practice with them ahead of time, okay? So make sure that you click on or copy the link that's in the chat box, okay? So do you think the listing packet is something that might be important? And how do you think it might affect the listing presentation?
It provides a flow of thoughts in order, in the order in which you should address things when talking to a prospective seller.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak. That's awesome. Nathaniel, are you going to say something?
Well, I was trying. I can't.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. I was trying
Yeah, I
to
can hear you.
unmute my microphone. No, I was just going to say it just shows professionalism. Showed you. It's kind of impressive, I would think, to the buyer or the seller, just to show that you're prepared.
Preparation is key, right? You want to come in there prepared. You want them to understand that you are the expert and you know what you're doing. It just, that pre-listing package just sets the stage for the listing presentation, right? It contains specific information about the potential seller's home, possibly. The listing presentation contains your plan to market the home, comps to help them understand, and your pricing strategy, and all the other information you might need, like commission menus, commission fees. I'm going to show you, like I mentioned before, exactly how we deliver, and we have a commission menu in ours. So this is going to be recorded so you can run through it afterwards and take what you want from it. So the pre-listing package just contains that information about selling a home generally, so that they're ready to understand and accept your plan for the house when you show up. Okay, let's go to the next slide, Brian. The listing presentation. The purpose is to get the seller to list with you. That's the bottom line. And you're going to achieve that by three things. You're going to create a great impression to build the seller's confidence in you as their real estate agent of choice. This meeting is all about building confidence and connecting. Second, you're going to share your price recommendation. This is going to be the initial list price for their property and your reasoning behind it, as well as where you think it's going to end up, right? And then you're going to set expectations for how you will market the home and how you will work with the sellers. So remember, the pre-listing information, the pre-listing package, it doesn't have any of this in it. You're not going to give away the store before you show up there. There's some beautifully designed templates that you can find in Design in Command. I'm assuming that all of you have a Market Center Tech trainer. And if you don't, you have a team leader. I know this. and your team leaders are more than capable of directing you to where you can find these listing presentations. Brian, if you can go to the next one, I would appreciate it. Thank you. So guys, their needs, right? Their needs are everything. So curious, why do you think that this is included? Don't overthink it. You guys know the answers to this. Why do you think that it's important to understand somebody's needs?
Because you have a fiduciary responsibility towards your clients.
It's all about them, right? A lot of people like to say, you know, who you work with matters, and that's true. But, you know, they really want to know that you heard them and that you understand what they want. You need to understand, when do they need to move, so that you can understand what preparations you need to make, right? You need to know if you are listing a house and they're not moving for 2 months, and you go out there and you see that the garden is completely trashed. Great time to start watering. Great time to start getting your landscaper out there and getting that kind of preparation in place, right? So you need to understand their needs and their time frame. At the end of the day, the real estate business, it's all about relationship. So this part of the listing presentation is about your relationship with them. It's important to understand their needs, like you guys have mentioned here. And doing this piece right is going to go really long way with your clients and with your future business. If they feel like you listen to them well and you ask the right questions, they're going to refer you. So about 90 to 95% of our business on our team is referral based. We're trying to get into farm-in this year so we can get a lot more business, because, you know, referrals are great, but it would be nice if the public starts to know about who you are. But right up front, you want to make sure that you are putting on your listening ears and asking the right questions. So we're going to go over the listing presentation. So let's top in, Brian. Let's go on to the next one. What just happened? It's okay. It's okay. Stuff happens. The next page is all about handling the seller objections. So there are scripts, and you really need to practice the scripts that are on page 11 to 13 in your elemental script book. So you guys should have that. Don't just rely on these. Reach out to people within your brokerages. They can help you with this. They really can help you with this portion of things. So when you get to the objection part of it, why do you think most people freeze when they see this? Or why do you think they get scared and they're terrified about going on appointments and dealing with seller objections? Why do you think that is, guys?
I'd be afraid because I didn't have the answers.
That's it.
They
That's
don't have-
it. What was that, Hayat?
They need some information. They don't know what to do. They need somebody to lead them step by step, and then after
Yeah,
that,
but
they
why-
feel like they're
but-
relaxed.
But why are agents, you heard what Nathaniel said, right? Why
Yeah.
are agents frightened to deal with the seller objections? Because we as agents are scared that we don't know the answers. So let me tell you that this is I'm in my 7th year in the business, right? I have a team with 3 people on it: Brian, Lee, myself, and Kenny. The 3 of us make up the Peterson Realty team. And this last year, we almost hit 50 million. We just, we fell shy by a few dollars on it. And, you know, we have goals like everybody else has with dollars, but really what we're trying to focus on is how we can help our clients. If you help people and they sense that you really want to help them, they will work with you. So we're going to get in a little bit later on about the seller objections and what you end up having to face. But I'm going to tell you right now, the only way to prepare for seller objections is attending classes where people are talking about listings, coming into the office and asking people, how do you handle this objection? It's by picking up the phone and calling clients and hearing from them, some of their questions. And if you don't have the answer, say, I don't have the answer to that, but I'm going to get back to you before the end of the day with an answer. I know you think that that's the worst thing you can tell somebody, but that's not true. I have more respect for people who are honest than people who just try to BS their way through something. But preparation is key, right? And don't worry about not having the answers. Let me tell you how I got my first listing appointment. I was out door knocking with my husband, who is a commercial broker, but we decided to go door knocking together. It was my first month in business. I was in my first month of Ignite, and we had these competitions going. Who had the most appointments? And I just love competition. It's something I love, and it's also something that scares me, but it pushes me to another level. So I was outdoor knocking with my husband, because he's been in the business in commercial real estate for 25 years. And I posted a picture on Facebook, and the picture was just a picture of a building and a tree, and said outdoor knocking, looking for business. And then hashtag real estate agent, that kind of thing, right? Couldn't have been maybe 15 minutes later, I'm still walking around and I get this ping on my phone, and it's from a friend of mine who I went to church with years before that. And this friend said, hey, while you're out there, if you see any houses, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, I'm very interested in buying a house. And I was like, wow, how cool is that? So I typed back and said, I'll give you a call tonight. So I gave her a call, and she said, yes, I want to buy a house. Didn't know the right questions to ask. Now, if I'd asked the right questions, I would have walked into the situation with a true understanding, but I didn't. But it's okay. I'm going to show you how it doesn't matter. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Do not let your lack of understanding about the business or your lack of knowledge stop you from doing what you should be doing. So I make the appointment for a Saturday. I show up there on a Saturday, and in the front of her house is a sign. So she owns this house and she's selling it. And it was with Better Homes and Gardens. And I go inside and say, hey, Margaret, what's going on here? Is this your house and are you selling it? And she said, yeah, I'm selling my house. And I said, oh, okay. When is that going to be sold? Because, sign's up. She says, well, I'm trying to get him to remove the sign. I said, why is that? Well, because I don't like the agent. He's not really helping me. I just want him gone. And I said, then what's the problem? He won't remove the sign. He won't remove the sign. I've asked him twice, and now he's not picking up my calls. I didn't know what to do. And I said, well, let me call my broker and find out what the next steps are. I said, I really can't talk to you about, your listing while you're under contract with somebody else. But I picked up the phone, called. The broker said, just have your client call his broker and tell me later on what happens with that. So we talk about her buyer's needs and all of that. Fantastic. And I go home, get a call from her the next day saying, hey, that worked. The sign is gone from in front of my house. And I said, great. Can I talk to you about selling your house? Would you mind if I interview for that position? She said, no. I said, okay, I'm going to come back on Saturday. She's a friend of mine, so she knows it's my second month in business. She's a friend as in we're Facebook friends, but we didn't hang out a lot. So she knows that when I got my license, she knows it's only been a couple of months. I said, okay, well, I'll show back up on Saturday. I'm going to bring my mentor with me. She's my coach, and we'll walk you through the process. went out there on a Saturday, walked her through the process, got my first 6% listing. Do not let your lack of knowledge stop you, okay? Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Get yourself out there on Facebook, on social media. Just let people see what you're doing, right? You go out and you tour some homes, you know, take pictures, and you never know what it might turn into. It might turn into a listing appointment and then a listing like I got. Okay, so Brian, let's go on to the next one, please. So remember, in the listing appointment, it's time for you to show off all of your hard work and to get the listing. You're going to preview their home at that time. You're going to present the listing presentation, and you're going to ask for the listing. This is your time to shine. Brian, why don't you go into the next one? And remember, when you have now, when you've got that lead and you're about to move to that listing appointment, you change it to opportunity in command. Do not forget to use your command, right? You've got to remember that the command is there to help you. Brian, I think we're on the wrong one. I think it should be home walkthrough.
Okay.
Yeah, home walkthrough. Sorry about that. Okay, so when you arrive at the home, a seller home, it's important to establish yourself as a knowledgeable professional right away. You want to greet them. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for the opportunity. Would you mind if I leave my things on your kitchen table? And they will usually just kind of walk you right over. I think every time I've entered somebody's house to do a listing presentation, I have done it at the kitchen table. The only time I didn't do it at the kitchen table was, you know, when now we're in Zoom, and so it's a little bit different. We don't always do it this way. Sometimes we get the listing appointment and then we go out and we do a home walkthrough. Remember, times are a little bit different. But if you can get into the house, that would be great. Set your stuff down at the dining room table. It's just curious, why do you guys think it's important to try and get to the dining room table?
And most likely the client will feel a little more comfortable in sharing and opening up, and it's a little more engaging.
I like that, Candace. I like that. Just remember that, you know, the kitchen table is kind of where everybody sits around. It's like the heart of the home. And like Candace said, it's where they're going to be most comfortable. Also remember that you are now all on the same level with your paperwork. You can write on a kitchen table. It's really hard to write on a sofa. If you're sitting down, then you've got everything on your hands. You can look at screens together if you're on the same level at a kitchen table. So that is important, like I mentioned, because it's they're letting you into the heart of their home, right? So your home, let's talk about the home walkthrough though. So this is going to inform you about how you are going to market this home and what preparation you need to do. And you're going to understand the condition of the home. Has anybody gone out and done a walkthrough at all? Have you gotten to a listing appointment as yet? If not, it's okay.
I have.
Gregory, fantastic.
So
So was
I'm
it,
kinda glad
was it an, go ahead.
the listing I got with a friend of mine. They wanted to sell their house. Once they found out that they were starting to pull financials, the wife found out that the husband taking out loans that she didn't know about and got credit cards that she didn't know about. But my takeaway is that house needed so much work that I told them, I said, honestly, I don't think we can do, unless we sell it as is, we're going to be below market value. And they didn't like that. But I was upfront and honest with them, and that's what got them still engaged. They ended up having to spend almost $20,000 to get mold removal out of the house. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'm kind of glad that the listing didn't go through. But when I walked in the house, they had it clean, didn't cut the grass. And just like, I mean, there was baseboards missing. Like, it was just a lot of work needed to be done on this house.
Got it. I get that. I get that. Sometimes you walk in and you're even more terrified once you've seen the home. But remember, you don't want to show your horror. You really want to, you know, just take it with a grain of salt as you're walking through. Listen to what's important to them. I've had people say, "Oh, you know, I just love how bright this room is. Look at this, you know, gorgeous red paint." And I'm thinking, we got to get rid of that red paint. But remember, that will come as you are going through the listing presentation. And I'm going to show you how that goes. But you're going to take note. You're going to take notes. Okay, there's a lot of scuff marks on the floors. There's a big, you know, hole in the wall. There's rust around the faucets. The bathtub looks like it's 20 years old. The windows look like they're single paned. You know, we can sell any house, but it's what price you're going to sell it for. That's what you've got to remember. You can sell any house, but what price are you going to sell it for? So there is a home walkthrough survey also in the toolkit. So make sure you go through that and adjust it as you think it's necessary to be adjusted. Okay, let's go on to the next one, Brian. So closing the deal. The final point of a listing appointment is getting the seller to sign with you. You've got to know your scripts, guys. You've got to know what to say, and you've got to know what not to say when you're sitting in front of somebody. Okay, so most of you have said that you haven't been out on a listing appointment. One person has. Brian, I know you've got many listings already. How important is this part of the listing presentation in being able to close the deal?
Very important. It sets the tone for how you communicate and work with the client, and all the expectations that go along with working together.
Well, so when you're getting ready to close the deal, if you don't know what to say, and if you're frightened to ask for the business, you're not going to get the business.
Right.
You've got to ask for the business, you guys. You've got to be willing to do that. You know what? I think that some things were skipped here. I'm thinking, Brian, it looks like some things were skipped. Am I right or am I wrong?
There's stuff further.
Yeah, there was some stuff before that we missed. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know why it didn't come up on the screen, but I actually want to go back and take a look at something here. The point where it says, I want to go back just a few, and I want to talk about the needs of the client, right? So your needs come first, right? And this, when you understand the needs of the client and you ask the right questions, you're going to be able to close the deal. If they feel like you've listened to them and you truly understand what's going on in their lives currently, I'll give you an example. We have a listing right now, and we just got this listing because I believe, asked the right questions and listened to the client. So the client, had some concerns about their child. We just helped them buy this house 2 years ago, but their child is autistic. And we said, so why are you wanting to move this quickly? And they said, well, we'd like to go, we want to move to another state because our autistic child will get better assistance there. I said, where are you moving? Las Vegas. Okay, great. Do you have you started to look in Las Vegas? No. Okay, we can help you with that. We can get you a contact in Las Vegas. We can talk about that afterwards, what cities you want to move to, what cities you're considering, and we'll get you an agent in the right school district. Fantastic. Let's talk about, we just kept going through the questions again with them. So one of the questions that you can ask if you don't know what to ask is, when they tell you something, say to them, why is that important to you? that opens up all kinds of information to you. So as Brian, I'm going to jump right back down to where we're at before, because it's at the end, because what I think is really important is to be able to show you guys, more than anything else, I want to be able to show you guys how to go about delivering on a presentation. So go to the, if you could, Brian, pull up the my listing presentation. Would you guys find that helpful if I walk through a listing presentation with you?
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know this was one of my struggles, right? I took Ignite, 7 years ago, and I got to tell you, I got my first piece of business, my first buyer in my first month, and my first listing in my second month. And by the way, after I sold her property, after I sold this person's property, I said, well, let's get out and start looking for your new home. And we got out there and we started looking for the new home. The first weekend, nothing. We looked at about 6 houses, nothing. The second weekend, there's a guy with her, and it's her boyfriend. And I said, oh, okay, great, you're here for moral support. He says, well, actually, I'm looking to buy as well. I said, oh, okay, great. And did you have any houses in mind? And do you guys want to see houses for both of you today? And absolutely. They had a list of houses. We went through probably 10 houses. I mean, I was exhausted by the time I was done, but I was also really excited and jazzed. I get him in contract the next month. Not her, but him. And then the following month after that, I got her in contract. So that it was just like it snowballed. It's possible. It can happen. If it doesn't happen, don't get discouraged, guys. The number one thing, the advice I can give you going into this game and making sure that you are delivering well on your listing appointments is have the right mindset. People downplay mindsets in such a huge way, but mindset gets people through a lot of difficulties in life. I woke up this morning and I had 3 buyers that have gone away in the last month. Frustration with the market. One of them was a buyer's mom just was driving not only their son crazy, he was looking for the house, but truthfully driving me nuts. And I knew I needed to cut them loose because she was just never going to listen to me. And so she went away because of that. The other 2 just went away because they're frustrated with the market. And I'm going to still keep in touch. But when you have 3 in a few days, it's really easy to get down on yourself and say, I suck at this. No, you don't. Just life is happening. Keep the balls in the air. Keep moving forward. Keep making your calls. Do not get caught up in what 1, 2, 3, 4, just keep going. So let's walk you through the how we do our presentation. So you see here that we have Keller Williams on here, as well as our team name on here as well. Brian, can I run this part now?
Sure.
Can you give this back? I think it might
You
be,
can't click on it.
okay,
You have to
no,
share
I'm gonna, okay, that'd be easier for me if I just did that. So I'm gonna share my screen if you don't mind. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm not looking in the chat, but Brian, can you tell me if there are any questions in chat?
No questions in chat.
Okay, great. Okay. It's not allowing me. Let me try one more time. Nope. Okay, you run it. You run it. Okay, just get it back up there for me. So again, professionalism. You want to make sure that your presentations look clean. You want to make sure that you know exactly what to say as you are moving through the presentation. Are you back up?
No.
Okay, and then if you could, I'm going to do the click thing as well. That'll help us. Okay, so we put this down as a custom consultation prepared with care for Jesse and Jenny. So we give them a guide right up front. So we're going to introduce ourselves, the Peterson Realty team. Let's talk about your home and your goals, right? We're also going to make sure you feel comfortable with the home selling process. And we're going to give you a marketing plan that makes sense for you to get top dollar. And we're going to show you how we price your home and why. And we're also going to discuss what's going on in the housing market right now, because the market is changing. So we want to make sure that you have the correct expectations as to how things are going to sell or what your property is going to sell for. We're also going to talk to you about how we select an offer. You don't necessarily always want to go for the highest price. We can also try and negotiate the best offer up to the highest price. And then lastly, we're going to go over the commission menu, because we understand that it's important for you to understand the fees. So here we are. This is who we are. I'm Yvette. You know a little bit about me already. This information you can read on your own. I did send it to you in your pre-listing packet. So hopefully you got a chance to know who we are. Then there's Brian Lee and Kenny Hahn, who are also on the team. We make up the Peterson Realty team. See how I'm not reading exactly off the screen, but I know how to make it flow. I'm not going, if you go back to Brian, I'm not going, okay, one more. I'm not saying, oh, in this guide, Peterson Realty team information, your home, your goals. No, I'm not doing that. I said, we're going to discuss your home and your goals. And I really want to make sure you understand the home selling process. So you see what I'm doing? I'm not reading off the screen. They get that you know this. You've done this before, right? Okay, let's go forward, Brian, a couple. So this is the property. This is your property. And we pulled it up online. Is this the correct information on here? 4 bedrooms, 3.5 full baths. Track of time, sorry. We've got 15 minutes. I can do this. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 full baths. Is this the right square footage? Yeah, great. So the lot size on this isn't correct, but it is a lot size that's for this group of buildings here. Remember, you're in a condo. So they took a look at the numbers that they had down reflect the 4 units that are in your building. And it was built in 2020, 2 years ago. This correct, Jesse? Jenny? Yeah, great, awesome. And if I was, remember, there wouldn't be any pauses because I would be walking you through this. So this is the needs, learning about you. This is how we phrased it. So I'm asking the questions and we're putting up the answers and typing them in on Zoom while we're on the phone with them. So why are you selling? Well, we purchased a home in Elk Grove, California. Well, we know that because we helped them purchase the home in Elk Grove, California. Okay. Kenny Hahn on the team helped them purchase the home in Elk Grove. So tell me, where are you moving to? Well, we're going to move to Elk Grove, or we're going to live with Jenny's brother. They told us all this without us asking anything further. We should be out by May 1st. And we're going to have a temporary home there till our home in Elk Grove is built in 2022. So Kenny took them up there one time and got them in contract. So it was worth it for him. He took the 2-hour drive, went on up there. This was a personal referral, so he didn't want to hand it off to somebody else. So what challenges do you think that you're going to have? They talked a little bit more about it. They said, you know, timing. We're not sure how we're going to manage all these logistics. And we said, okay, we can help you with that. Don't worry about that. We can break it down and help you with that. Maybe you need movers, all of that kind of stuff, because sometimes they don't even know what their challenges are going to be. So as you talk to them, you are going to understand more about what their true needs are. And have you ever sold a property before? Well, no. So this property they're in, Kenny didn't help them get into it, but he was referred this client. So he helped them buy the new home, and now he's got the listing. They said, okay, we'll interview you for this. Sounds great. So what are 3 things that you're looking for in a realtor? This is important because we're saying to them, we care about what you want. And they come back with, well, honesty, guidance through the process, and quick responses to the questions, right? And we're typing this in as we're going along. They're seeing that we are taking notes, guys. So do you have a list of all the upgrades, by the way, and specs on this home? Just really curious. And well, they said it's a new home. We have all the binders, documentations on the property. They said that they added a fancy new gas stove because he likes to cook. They're taking the fridge because they love that fridge and they're not willing to part with it. And they're going to replace it, right? So this, as we're typing this in, this didn't come about just like that. We asked the questions like, so are you willing to replace the fridge with a less expensive fridge? Absolutely, we will. Great, because we know that when people see a home that's move-in ready, they're ready to go. So these are the things that I'm saying to them as we're going along. So does the home need any updates to sell it? They said, well, it's only 2 years old, but we have scuffed a lot of the walls. And we probably might have some damage as we move out. And he said, yeah, actually, usually you do have damage when you move out. And so we will help you with that as well. Do you own your house free and clear, or do you have a loan? No, they don't own it. They have a loan. So at this point, we said, okay, great. Before we leave, we would love to get your mortgage, your last mortgage payment and the documents so we can see how much is left and we can run a net sheet for you. And we'll tell you how much you will net. Okay, great. So when do you want it to sell by? Well, 4 weeks. It was 4 weeks. Actually, it was 4 weeks from the time they move out. And so they said they're going to move out on May 1st. Do you think they moved out on time, guys? Nicholas is right. No. Nathaniel, what do you think?
No, I was going to guess no.
So they moved out 2 days ago. So yeah, you're right. So they moved out a couple days ago. And in the move out, as they took the refrigerator down the stairs, they took off one of the panels that are covering the stair rails. They tore the whole thing off. The movers did. So now we're going to have to, now it's not just paint touch up. It's more things that we're going to have to do for them. And they put some gouges in the walls, the movers did, as they're moving things out. So we're going to handle that. And we just flat out asked the questions, what's your desired selling price? I said $1,050,000 and higher, because we know that there are some properties there that are going to be selling close by. And the agent, we went to the open house and the agent said that she's expecting $1,050,000. So they just went off of what the agent said. It wasn't off of Zillow this time, wasn't off of Redfin. And they said, okay, well, then now's a great time to discuss some of the comps. So we pull out the comps. We usually have the comps stuck in here at this point, and we go over that. But what we did was even better. Go to the next page, please, Brian. Thank you. And so this is what we had. So the most recent sale is going to be the most reliable comp. So this address right here, listed in the MLS on January 21st, same specs as yours. It was listed at $888,000. Oh, this is why they went off of it. Sold in 6 days. And the agent, agent was waiting for appraisal value before she would share the price. So we did this back in January. But she told us, she gave us a hint and said that it sold somewhere between $1,050,000 and $1,100,000. So do we think this is achievable for you? Absolutely. By the way, they received 18 offers. So these are all the questions we asked. So we came doubly prepared. We didn't just come with comps off the MLS. We called the pending comp. Remember, the pending comp is your most reliable comp, guys. It's the most recent sale. And so we immediately said to them that there's 17 other people looking for that same unit in the same community. Hopefully, not all of them will have purchased by the time you come on, when you come live, right? So let's go to the next one. So then that's the most important comp that we could have gone over with them, right? So we took out any kind of worries from them about hitting that 1,050,000. You know, remember, we always say, hey, Mr. Seller, Jesse and Jenny, things can change, the market can change, right? So the sooner you sell, the better. Well, they couldn't move out any sooner because they were pregnant. And as a matter of fact, on the day we're supposed to have the listing appointment, we got a call from them saying, we're at the hospital, we're going to be delivering the baby, hopefully in the next 24 hours. So we had to put off this listing presentation. So remember, I promised you that you're going to understand a little bit more about what we need to do for the home selling process. I'm going to give you a high level overview of that right now. You're attending the listing presentation right now, so check, that's done. We're going to help you with the preparation of your home. We're going to open escrow for you and order the preliminary reports and all the other documents that are necessary, all the seller reports. We're going to list and market your home. We're going to show your home through high-level open houses. And believe me, nobody can do an open house like we do it. You can even, we know that agents say all the time, Mr. Seller, Mr. Buyer, or sorry, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, do not come by the property. Actually, we welcome you to show up as long as you walk through the house, look at the activity, and then leave. We don't want your feelings to get hurt if somebody doesn't like something that you like about the house. And we want you to remove all the emotion from it. But we don't mind you coming by and see how we do our job at all. Sometimes that's how we picked up listings, right? We're doing an open house and people come into one of our open houses because we not only do a Saturday and Sunday open house, we also do a Thursday night open house just for the sellers. But guess what? We put that on the MLS as well for the public so they can stop by. Then we hear from all these people who are living close by, how much they love the community, the buyers get to hear it, and we get to pick up more listings. That's why we do it. So if you have a listing, do a Thursday open house, go door knock the neighborhood and hand out flyers saying coming soon, your neighbor is selling. Who do you know that you want as a neighbor? You never know. Tell them to call me. Now you've got a buyer that you can hand off to somebody else on the team, or that you can have possibly who might be, if they don't like this property, they might be a future buyer for you, right? More business. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to receive and negotiate offers. It's not as simple as people think it is. Most people just think they want top dollar, but we're also looking for terms. We want to make sure that you don't have too long of a contingencies. It's even better if you have zero contingencies and they put their 3% deposit in within 24 hours, right? It's really hard for them to back out. Not to say that they won't. We've had people back out. But I'm telling you right now, we're going to look for the best contingencies. And also, once we receive the offers, part of the negotiating part is we actually call the lenders for every single one of the offers, and we verify that they are ready to purchase. We talk to the lenders and make sure that they've been working with them long enough. And if they haven't been, you know, we shouldn't know their credit scores, but we ask them, are you happy with their debt to income ratio, their credit scores? Do they have enough money in the bank if it doesn't appraise? We ask a litany of questions. And so we give them more information here. So this looks very simple, but when we're talking to them, we're sharing more information. And guess what, guys? At the end of it all, we get to celebrate. We love to take our clients out, by the way, for a nice dinner at the end of it all. Now we're making connections outside of here, and we are not frightened to ask for a referral at that dinner. Also, at this point, we tell them we always, Brian, would you mind handing me one of those up there, please? We also tell them at the same time that we will give you, by the way, we have ready for you a wonderful package. I'm only showing this to you. I don't show this to them there, but we always give them a Ring doorbell, and we take them to dinner. Now, some people think that's excessive. Guess what? 90% of our business is referral based. guys. We keep getting more business from these people. So think about that. So let's go to the next one, Brian, because I'm running out of time. And those who want to hang out a little bit longer, I will make sure I get through this with you. Now I get to this page and I go, okay, the most important part of the marketing strategy is getting maximum visibility for you and maximum buyer interest. You can read it off the screen. It's right here, right? And if, by the way, if you're interested in receiving a copy, email me. I don't mind sharing. That's the great thing about Keller Williams agents. We love to share. You still have to deliver on it, guys. You still have to know the content. So we tell them to get maximum visibility. We put it through the MLS. That feeds out to Zillow, Redfin, all these other brokerages as well. If you look at my social media page or anybody on our team, when we have a listing, we put it on there. We also have a Peterson Realty team page on Facebook and on Instagram. So we immediately start telling everybody about this. Okay, I will do that, Candice. Great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We talk about the network of investors. We tell them that, we will do open houses. This is the most important. I'm rushing right now, but I take some time. I slow down and we take the time to go through this with them. And we make sure it's priced correctly. On the maximum buyer interest part of it, your property should be updated if possible, unless you're willing to accept, less money than some of the comps, the updated comps in the area. We got to tell you, cleaning is imperative. So people come in and the moment they see dirt, it just shies off. Even if it's a house that's a little bit run down, you guys get a cleaner in there. Clean the windowsills, clean off the dark stuff, clean off all the dirt, get professional photos. Please do not get out there with your camera and your iPhone. Pay for the photos. Go to Tour Factory if you need to. Tour Factory can do some wonderful things for you. We also use open homes photography I really love open homes photography, but they are expensive, but they do the job for me every time. Captivating description and pricing it correctly. Let's go to the next one, Brian. I've got to rush through the rest of this, make sure they get this. And then, by the way, here's our marketing system. And so they see a lot, right? They see that, oh, wait, they've got to do all this. I don't want to do all this. I got to work. I can't clean the home, prep the yard, manage inspections, stage the home, take professional photos, install a coming soon sign, post on the MLS, share to Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, generate the buzz on social media, market to all of our local brokerages. Now, guys, this is not a Keller Williams listing presentation, but it has many of the elements in it. We've just upped the level for our clients as we've gone along. So I go through all of this. Let's go to the next page, Brian. You guys can read it when I send it off to you. Pricing your home to sell. The market value of your home is based on a combination of factors, and here are some of them. Where are you located? What's the condition of the market? What are the comps in the area? We just can't pull a magic number out that you want. It has to make sense, right? We're going to give you the active listings, what's going on right now as well, because we want to make sure we choose the proper time to bring it on. We don't want to bring it on while you've got your neighbor coming on next door. Let's wait till they're in contract. So now they're off the table, and we now have a recent comp, unless of course their house sucks. Then you don't want that. Okay, so let's go to the next page, Brian. Pricing your home to sell. Guys, there's a fair market value right in there. If you price it at fair market value, you're going to capture about 60% of the people who are looking. If you drop it about 10%, this is the standard document that we see in the listing presentation. So we share this. It's changing a little bit, you guys, so you need to know that. It's if the house is turnkey, then you can drop it at 10%, great. But if it's not turnkey, or if it's a condo or a townhome right now, especially the condos, they're not seeing a big jump in price. So we're pricing it about 3% difference to 5% difference, and depends on the condition of the home. Okay, so we make sure that they understand, because they say, whoa, no, I don't want to price it that low. Yes, we need to. And then we pull up comps. We pull up the MLS screen and we show them right then and there. Take a look at it. Here's the list price. Here's the sold price. Here, I could go on for hours with you guys. I could pull up tools on the MLS. Go into the MLS and look for the tools. There are tools at the top. You know where you can pull down the matrix and your search bar. Go over a few more and you will see, what is it? Market reports, Brian? Market reports. Play with those market reports, you guys. Those are critical at this time. Let's go to the next one, Brian. Pricing your home to sell. If you don't sell your home in the first couple of weeks in this area, people start to think, is there something wrong? It's shifting a little bit, you guys. We're seeing more people having 2 open houses instead of 1, right? If the house is turnkey, it's really hot, then we're seeing them still go in 1 week. Brian, the listing you had in Pleasanton, we brought that on. It took probably about 4 weeks to prep it. The people had lived there for 30 plus years, you guys. And so we ripped out the carpets, put in new flooring, put on new paint, didn't touch the kitchen. Well, we painted the kitchen cabinets white. Everything just looked nice and bright and white. That was listed at 1.7.
1.79.
Yeah, 1.799 or something like that. It went for 2.1 just a few weeks ago.
And actually, when you guys are making changes and remodeling or update, cleaning up the houses like that, where does that cost usually? Where do you usually apply that cost? Do you take?
Nathaniel, dude, I love you. You are thinking like a listing agent. You are thinking like a listing agent. I'm going to get to that at the end.
Yes,
so pricing your home to sell. Let's move to the next one because I know these guys don't want me to cut off at 9 o'clock and say, oops, sorry, didn't get to the last 3 pages. So housing market trends. So we go through the trends. This is changing a little bit, but what we normally see is at the beginning of the year in January, we're seeing that that this is old, right? So, and we're going into 2021, but January 2018, we see that it's low, and then we see it about May. They peak and then come back down. This is 2018 to 2019. 2020, we saw it going up, and then a little bit of a dip, and then up again. It's really been going up, you guys, ever since then. Now we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown. So let's move to the next one. And anybody wants to get together, I do other classes here that you can get from Laura Gleason, and she can tell you, or I can come and teach at your facility or something like that and share. I teach a class on negotiating your commission. By the way, our team gets about 90% of our listings are at 6%. We pay 2.5 out. So anybody who tells you have to be a discount agent, don't listen to them. You need to know your value. You need to know your worth. You need to be able to deliver on it, my friends. And you need to have the right mindset. And you can make adjustments where you feel like for this couple in Alum Rock, who we know they're struggling, they're literally having to sell their home after 2 years because their child needs 24/7 care. The dad has to be with them at home. We gave them a 0.5% discount. We're still taking 3%. They're taking 2.5% on the other side. But that was our choice. And we want to be able to be philanthropic if we want to be philanthropic. We want to be able to help whoever we want to help. That's why we're in this business, to help people. So selecting an offer, we go through this with them. Price isn't the only consideration. We show them what the other considerations are, and we break that down. Remember, at the bottom, we explain that the contingencies protect the buyer's 3% earnest money deposit. But so until they're listed. So if they come in with no contingencies, we love that even more. Let's go to the next one. Remember, guys, I'm rushing to get through this, but I'm at the last page. Here's your commission menu. This is a gift to you guys. Take a screenshot, a huge gift. I have a commission menu here. You change it as you see fit, right? But I will tell you right now how this works for us. We save, you have a choice. You can do 6%. We handle everything for you. You're not lifting a finger. We're paying for everything, right? But I don't make it carte blanche. We make it up to $4,000. staging for 30 days. Now, there are a couple really big agents in Santa Clara, Sunnyvale. They are selling probably about 4 to 5 houses a month in those areas. They do 5%, and they're still covering a lot of this stuff at 5%. We're getting 6%, and so we're choosing the so this one you're looking at here, we adjusted this special. Normally we'll have another column in here too for if we're managing your upgrades and contractors. I've gotten 7% before. I've got an extra 1% because I'm managing the crazy upgrades in that project. I'm going out there and I'm helping them pick out the cabinets, the you know, this took me a couple years, guys, to understand and to do, because I didn't have anybody helping me like this and giving me information. It took a while. So I say to them, there it is, up to $4,000. Well, some of my staging goes for more than that. There are some other staging companies in the area that people use that are less. For example, they don't know that. They don't know what your pricing is, right? So there's a company, 365 Staging, that they just did a condo for you, Brian. It was $2,800 around there. $2,500 for the staging, guys. They don't know that, right? So you say you're covering up to $4,000. So $2,500 is what their staging costs for this 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo that we have in Santa Clara that just went live last week. And that included, by the way, the photography. So check that out, you guys. So the $2,500 now included the photography. The you can do some Matterport sometimes. We do the cleaning. We have cleaners. So we say up to $750 in cleaning services. How much do you think my cleaning cost for a condo? Like 180?
Yeah.
300.
So how much do you think the condo? What did you say, Deepak?
About 300 deep clean.
So 200.
I said 3.
Small condo. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a small condo, right? When it's our bigger houses, it could be 350 or 400 if it's a really large house. And we're talking about really somebody's moved out and they've left the place a mess. We want to make sure that stove is gleaming and everything like that. So remember, this is what it says here. It doesn't mean it's going to cost you this. You go out there and you shop for your photographer. You shop for your marketing material. Get your costs down, right? So all.
So do you pay these out of your pocket? As the.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
So remember, you're being billed by some people as you go along too. You have to pay for your staging up front. You always do. Now I tell my clients, if you want the lesser fee, great. We will have the stager bill you. We'll have you see what I mean? You don't have to. You're giving them choices, guys. You're giving them choices. Does online marketing on Facebook and Command cost you anything?
But if you give them a choice to not do photography or video or something like that, then there's a chance that it's less marketing, right? You're taking less.
Yeah. So we tell them, look, nobody we know picks 5% ever, because they recognize that we need the marketing material out there. But you know, these FISBO people can be really stubborn. You don't have to do business with them. If it's going to make me look bad, I don't want to do it. Brian, will you pull up for me 20? So let's get rid of this off the screen, and we're going to show you one last presentation. Pull up 20702 in the URL santacruzhwy.com.
Yvette, may I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What was that staging company that you mentioned? Because I know out here we're in
365.
Is it
365? So I will tell you this, their staging doesn't look like the most modern stuff, but we've sold at least 4 properties just fine with it. So you have to take a look at the property that you're handling. Now my high-end clients, I'm going to use open house. I'm going to use I use Encore. staging. So I want you to take a look at this one here. This is one of our, oh, this is not doing the full screen, is it? Okay, could you scroll down? So this is a listing. Can you scroll up? Sorry. That we did through open houses. So stop right here. This is open house photography. And then go down to the video tour for us. And just click on the video tour. Video tour is just a minute long on it. So this is one that we sold in November. So this one I went all out, right? This was because this, you know, you're dealing with a few $1 million. You want to make sure that you're giving them the best, right? So you just adjust your contracts, sorry, your vendors based on who your clients are and what the expectations are, right? So Brian, see if you can pull that down, move it down a little bit. No, sorry. If you can keep it the video, go back to the video. Yeah, just move forward just a little bit. Yeah, to the like 2/3. Oh, or it's not letting you. Okay. So this was large. This was a 5,000 square foot house, you guys, on 1.78 acres. So there are some challenges like for 2 years. So we decided to use a drone because we wanted them to understand the size of the property. Now let's scroll on up. Right, and so you see we use open homes photography. Have a really captivating description. Let's keep going up, Brian. Then there's a discussion about the neighborhood. Open homes photography, drop some of this in here. We do a lot of our own copy, that is the writing material. So they automatically do all of this with open homes photography. The floor plan, and then I ordered the floor plan as well for it. Remember, you can add all these things and then keep going. Could you go back up to the photography? Oh yeah, no.
And what did you list that property for? Do you remember?
Yeah, we listed it at, so this is a mountain home. So if this is in Los Gatos, if this was down in Los Gatos, we could list this house in the city of Los Gatos, we could list it for $5+ million. But when, if you could go back up to the photographs now, when we're listing a home and we're doing this up in the mountains, we listed it for 2.688. Remember, they bought it a couple years before that for under $2 million. And we listed it for $688,000 above what they purchased it at just a few years before that. Sorry, it was actually a few years before. And when we came to this house, see all that bark? My landscaper put all that bark in. It looked like it was trash. Go back again, Brian. This right here, we put in the plants. I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I wanted the plants to be put in. You know, I choose the plants because a lot of people will choose these purple and brown things. Well, they don't stand out against the brown bark. Let's move to the next one, Brian. So I choose for my high-end staging, not even my high-end. I use Encore a lot for just my houses that are listed at even 1.3. And keep going, Brian. The lighting, you guys. Go back to the previous lighting. They had really awful lighting, so the stager, we got those put in. Keep going. And keep going. By the way, we said that desk stays with the property. Just keep going through, Brian, and I'll tell you when to stop. So the place looks totally different stage than the way it did before with my clients in there. It was a hot mess. By the way, going to the kitchen, Brian, all the cabinets in the kitchen were brown. I just had my painter paint them all white. Cheap way of getting this place looking great, right? It looked like it was so dated, and I didn't have to take out the quartz, countertop. It's staging makes it a little bit more modern. We painted this lighting we changed out. It had a gold lighting before. Go back, please, to the other one. Yeah, we had gold lighting there. We just changed that out. $180 at Amazon. Go to the next one. And I think we're over time, right? So I need to stop. So guys, I need to stop. But as you can tell, I like to share the wealth. I think the worst thing in the world is getting into this business and thinking that you can't be successful. So my first year I had 3 listings and 3 buyers. And then since then, I think we've had over 40 listings and different price points. We love helping people, so we'll take something that's $400,000. We'll take something that's $3 million. By the way, the client was hoping to get $2.7 million for this. I got them 2.888 for this one. Remember, it's up in the mountain, it's secluded, so this is not for everybody. You got snakes, you got mountain lions. It's not for everybody. Okay, so if you could stop this, Brian, because I've gone way over. I just hope this brought some value to you guys. And if you have any questions, please, now's the time because we're over.
This is great, Yvette. Thank you so much for sharing it. Really, really appreciate it. Just a couple of quick questions. Going back to the commissions menu. So under 6%, you listed a lot more things than as compared to 5.5 or 5%. Do you also have like a particular value, like the price, like a minimum price for or minimum list price for the house at which you provide all these values? Like, just like you said, you would take a house worth 400K or a house worth 5 million. But if you're providing staging up to 4,000 on a house worth 400K, does that even make sense? And stuff like that.
Of course it does. Of course it does. You remember the percentage, right? You're looking at the percentage. So right. Brian, so what's the percentage? What's my commission? I got 3.5% of 2.888888. What's the commission on that, you guys? What's 3.5% commission on 2.888888? Somebody can do the calculation on that.
3%.
Yeah, it's
3.5.
105.
$105,000. You think?
Right.
You think I'm going to worry about a $7,000?
No. How about $500,000? $500,000.
But say $500,000. Now I use a different stager. I use a stager that gets me something at $2,500, and all of my photography is included in it. It's still worth it to me, you guys. So we haven't sold anything at 500,000, but say the one that we're doing now, 800, and we're going to sell it for 850,000 probably. So what's 3%? This one we're doing 3% because it's a family member actually. Mm-hmm. So we're giving them a break. So what's that? So $25,000.
Right.
So if your cost out of it is $5,000 and they give you a referral and you're on to the next one, don't you know, guys, I can't tell you how many people will not pay for a transaction coordinator. We pay $400 for a transaction coordinator all day long because why? It's not worth my time. I'm moving on to do income generating activity. I'm not spending my time doing paperwork. Guys, think differently. Do not nickel and dime things. So therefore, you know, if you can get your commissions up to $500,000 plus per year, is it worth it to you guys? Okay, so we got to get rolling now because meetings are going on. I'm giving you way more than I'm supposed to have done, and hopefully I won't get my hand slapped for going this long with you guys. But if I do, oh well.
Thank you.
Have
a great day, you guys.
We appreciate it.
So much. Thank you. Fantastic.
You are so welcome.
Thank you.
You got my email
Thanks a lot.
address. Email me if you need me. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.